Okay, yet another weekly updates. As you can see, a lot of updates, and we'll start with Llama 3, which was released exactly a week ago. And here are some interesting screens. So Meta, as you know, added Llama 3 prompts in its applications, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So this is actually my WhatsApp. And now I have a contact. Well, I covered this so you don't see, but it's called Meta AI, and you can chat with it. So I asked the question, why sky is blue, and it gave me the answer. And in fact, maybe I will show you the real thing. So this is the screen. Okay, I guess I'll do this so people will not see my contacts. But yeah, so it gives me the answer about why sky is blue. I asked to make a portrait of attractive girl sitting across the table. And then I asked to make some changes, make her white, put her in the office, uh, put with the laptop and smartphone and make her smile. And this is the result. Then I wanted to convert her into Empress of Russia. So it doesn't really look like Empress. Then I asked for Emperor of Russia, Peter the Great. And then I asked to put him on the table in front of a laptop and smartphone. Then I returned back to girl, and then I start varying, like reducing laugh. And after several variations, that's whatever. So, like, you see what's going on. So let me close it. It's a lot of fun to play with it, but it's a powerful Llama 3 model. And this is another interesting thing. So Meta AI included Llama 3 in many of their services. Like, for example, in Facebook groups, when people ask questions and the questions are not answered for a long time, then Meta AI steps in and, well, provides some content. So here, Meta AI writes, and you can read it. I have a child who is also like, it has been, whatever. So it basically impersonates humans, and it's absolutely hilarious. But okay, you can run Llama 3 inside Ollama on any platform. I really love Ollama because of its it recognizes the hardware and it manages the memory well. By the way, a trick, for example, on Mac, if you want to update Ollama on Mac, you need to first stop the running process. And the way to do it, you do sudo pkill -9 Ollama with a small character and Ollama starting with a capital character. So this command actually stops Ollama completely, and then you can reinstall the new downloaded version. Okay, in 1 week since release, Llama 3 was downloaded over 1 million times, and there are already more than 600 derivative models on Hugging Face. So yeah, it's quite an explosion. Eric Hartford, who is famous for creating a Dolphin dataset to fine-tune models to make them uncensored. So he already fine-tuned both versions of the model, 8 billion parameters and 7 billion parameters. You can download them. You can use them from inside Ollama. And yeah, this is his logo. Run Llama 370B on your phone using HuggingChat app. I didn't know that, but yeah, you can download the app from App Store, and then, or you can access it directly in the browser. And HuggingChat supports multiple models. I love Mistral, and I also now can use Llama 3. Okay, here are pieces of Open Arena leaderboard, and you see that overall Llama 3 is on top 5, and it shares it with GPT-4 and Claude 3 Opus, which are huge corporations and lots of people. Llama 3 is open source, completely open source. It's fast, you can customize it, and you see it's right there on top. What's even more interesting, in this leaderboard, you can select options like which queries you want. So I selected only English prompts, right? And immediately you can see that Llama now shares the first place with GPT-4 Turbo. GPT-4 is a great model, although it's slow. It may be up to a minute to get the response, and it's not predictable. Llama 3 is fast and open source and customizable and cheap and so on. So, wow. So now you can get the top behavior accuracy from open source. Quite amazing. Okay, and this is, by the way, the Crowdsourced Arena leaderboard. But again, I did here filtering to only show English queries. And you see the red ones are open source. So it starts with Llama 3 here on the top. This is 70 billion parameters. I need to move, okay, move it a little bit here. So it basically shares it with GPT-4. It's the first two places. But then you see 8 billion parameters. It's also pretty high. And then you have some other models, open source models. GPT 3.5 is now on the 27th place. So again, today, why even you will consider it when you can just use Llama 3? And yeah, guess that's it. Okay, next, huge progress in LLMs in the last 6 months. We're working with corporate clients, and we see that well, they take time to develop their systems, right? So it takes them maybe half a year or more to develop even a simple chatbot because of bureaucracy. So if a company started developing in, let's say, October, and then they selected GPT 3.5 Turbo because back then that's what was available and reasonable. But in the last 6 months, there are so many more new models, and now you can just go with Llama 3 or Mistral, and you will get open source, cheap, fast, and better, more accurate. Like everything is better. Yeah, this is very interesting. Grok. So I tried to run Llama 3 on Grok, and I asked write Python code for a snake game. So it's about 2 pages of code. And you can see that it took total of about 1.1 seconds to generate the code. It's really, really fast. So when people create RAG systems like this diagram, so the person asks question, there should be some LLM processing, pre-processing of the query to understand what it's about, maybe rephrase it, then you run the search in your database, retrieved something, and then you use another call to model to formulate the response, right? So you can use modern LLMs both here, and you can also use them to pre-process your data for better indexing. Oh, this, by the way, is an old image because it's November 23, but it just shows how prices go down, and they continue going down. I simply don't have a more recent image, but they basically large language models become free, and there are so many of them, and you have a lot of choice. Okay, yet another large language model or small language model from Microsoft, and it's called Phi. And there is a series of model, mini, small, medium, from about 4 billion, 7 billion, 14 billion parameters. And they have very good characteristics, but because they're small, you can use them on the phone. So this is good. Yet another model from Snowflake. And this is a really strange model because this is a hybrid. So first of all, they use 480 billion parameters, but in a real life, it actually uses about 17 billion active parameters at any given time. So it combines 10 billion parameters dense transformer with a lot of experts, and each expert is small. It's about 3.66 billion, but you have 128 of them. Wow, right? So this is the architecture they use. So this is a regular dense transformer. This is a transformer which has both sequentially, and here you have them in parallel. That's what they implemented. It has very short context length, 4K, But again, it's good. And what's interesting here on this inference chart, they show, so here we have number of active parameters in billions, and here you have some parameter which they called enterprise intelligence, which is the aggregate of different metrics. And you see that with a small number of active parameters, you achieve very good performance. But again, it's actually 400 billion parameters. So like they try to invent some metrics to make it look good, but it is actually good. Anyway, yet another set of models coming from Apple. Apple open sourced their models. And these are small models. They have sizes 270 million, 450 million, 1.1 billion, and 3 billion is the largest one. So they all are small and they all can work on your phone, on the device. This is interesting. So they called OpenELM, which is Open Source Efficient Language Model, ELM, OpenELM. Yeah, this is a first for Apple to start open sourcing their stuff because usually they're closed and secretive. Next is coming from Hong Kong, from China, and there is a company called SenseTime. They have about 3,000 people working, so this is their building, and they mostly deal with images, facial recognition, image recognition, object detection, optical character recognition, medical imaging, and so on, so on. They created the new language model with 600 billion parameters, 200,000 tokens contact length. They trained it on a lot of data, 10 tera tokens, and it beats GPT-4 in all metrics, almost all metrics. It's absolutely amazing. Now, this is not open source, and people complain that, well, nobody actually had opportunity to test it themselves because it's a closed source, it's proprietary. But, well, it shows what China is doing, what other countries are doing. Okay, Infinite-LLM, efficient LLM service for long context. So this is a publication which explains how to achieve long context, and this is coming from China, from Alibaba Group. And they talk about dist attention, KV cache, and so on. Elon Musk predicts that training Grok 3 will require 100,000 Nvidia H100 GPUs. AWS to acquire 20,000 B200 GPUs for their big model. Andrej Karpathy continues playing with his llm.c update. So now it grew from 1,000 to 2,000 lines of code, and now it contains CUDA and runs with the same speed as PyTorch, but doesn't require hundreds of megabytes of bloated Python code. Mistral released a library called mistral-common, and well, they started with tokenizers, but they will add more code as they go. Fineweb, this is a dataset, open dataset, 15 trillion tokens. So it's a huge, huge dataset. People are discussing what will happen as more models and more robots will appear, and if we'll now we'll have 8 billion people on the planet, and maybe we'll have 8 billion agents. So I just wanted to like make a picture of that. Okay, FlowMind, automatic workflow generation with LLMs, coming from JPMorgan AI research. The idea is that given the task, you can actually use AI to generate workflow depending on the task, and it has some feedback to refine it and then run it. Very interesting work because business workflows, it's a big area and there's a lot of optimization needed. So that's why, well, JPMorgan is a big company and that's a problem which they understand. Baidu, another Chinese giant, launches AgentBuilder, AppBuilder, and ModelBuilder. So this is Baidu. Again, there was an event, Create 2024, a lot of announcements. They do a lot of progress. Okay, next, Perplexity is raising more money. 250 million at almost $3 billion valuation. Instruction hierarchy. So this is interesting article. When people try to give instructions prompt to the model, these instructions, of course, influence the response, but only to certain extent. But you can train the model so that it will consider certain instructions with more weight. So you can make the model more obedient, so to speak. And this is like really important, and this is very good article. Coca-Cola will pay, well, its commitment for Microsoft Cloud Services of more than $1 billion for 5 years. OpenAI has introduced multiple enterprise-grade features. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said this week that they will actually increase their investments in the infrastructure. They planned about 37 billion. Now it's more like 40 billion for this year for their data centers. Rabbit R1 is out, and people reporting they have it in their hands, they're playing with it, they're living with it. Just a reminder, it's a small device, smaller than a smartphone, and it communicates with AI via network. It doesn't run it on the device, and you can talk to it. It has microphones, and it has a speaker, and it has a small screen. Okay, next is Nvidia DGX H200, long awaited, and finally the first ever was delivered to OpenAI and by Jensen himself, the CEO of Nvidia. So DGX GH200 is the only AI supercomputer that offers a shared memory space of 19.5 terabytes across 32 Grace Hopper superchips. Okay, and yeah, so this is probably at least doubles the performance of previous systems. So this is great. No more non-compete coming from Federal Trade Commission. This is, I guess, good for us. So US Federal Trade Commission, FTC, has issued a significant ruling that bans the enforcement of non-compete clauses in employment contracts. So it is now considered an unfair practice under Section 5 of the FTC Act to impose non-compete clauses, which could notably change AI sector. This change allows developers greater mobility between companies, potentially accelerating innovations and distributing expertise more broadly throughout the industry. So people don't have to wait, they can just jump from one company to another. And FTC immediately, like Chamber of Commerce, they immediately sued them because they believe that, like, this is like a wrong rule and should not exist. But as of now, it exists. 12 predictions of Vinod Khosla. So who is he? Well, he is a very famous investor, a self-made billionaire. He was a co-founder of Sun Microsystems, and also he has Khosla Ventures. And these are the 12 predictions which he made there on his website. And let's go through them. Some of them are evident, some of them are not. Expertise will be near free. Yes, because you may use AI systems like AI doctor, AI tutor, AI translator, AI expert in any field. Labor will be near free. Well, maybe not immediately, but maybe it will take 10, 15, 20 years, maybe more. But when we'll have AI-enabled robots doing all the work. Computer use will grow expensively. Well, we definitely see this happening. AI will play a large role in entertainment and design. Again, it's already happening. Internet access will be mostly by agents, meaning that agents will go on your behalf and do whatever you want them to do. Search for you, buy for you, set appointments, or whatever else you need. From the practice to science of medicine, we will be capable of providing precision care based on patients' individual features, enabling simulation of each body in therapeutics dosages. Yes, this would be great, of course. We will have new food and fertilizers, which will be green and better tasting. Okay, strange prediction, but maybe. Cars could be displaced in cities. We could replace majority of cars with personal autonomous transit as on demand, affordable public transit. Okay, this is what Elon Musk is trying to do. Flying will be faster, Mach 5 planes from New York to London in 90 minutes. I don't know how he can predict this because, well, whatever. There will be clean, dispatchable electric power. Fusion boilers will retrofit and replace coal and natural gas boilers. So fusion plants, super hot geothermal. Okay, this maybe. Resources will be plentiful. We'll discover more natural resources, maybe. Carbon will have solutions. If we have time, carbon emissions could be a smaller issue because entrepreneurs will develop and scale better technologies. Okay, so interesting. Next, as usual, about layoffs. So this shows 2023, this shows 2024. Employees layoff are in red. So you see that for April, the red are approximately the same, although the number of companies, I think blue is companies, so number of companies is smaller. I'm not sure what blue is. Anyway, and of course, this is just general for tech jobs, but for AI jobs, it's actually opposite because there is an increase of salaries for AI and definitely a lot of calls from recruiters for AI. Anyway, this is me, and thank you.